Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial on the C programming language. This is our third lecture in which we will discuss about the algorithm. Before starting, let's take one real-time example. Suppose you want to plan a vacation trip. So you have to follow some steps, like first you have to decide the place, then you will decide the date, then you have to book the tickets of the flight as well as train, as well as you have to book the tickets. This sequence of the steps we can say is the algorithm. Okay, so let's start with one another problem. Suppose we want to find the average out of three number, that is the mean number. So we need to follow some sequence of the steps. First you have to get the first number, then get a second number, then get a third number. Now we will find the addition of these three number and store this addition into one variable like a sum. Then we have to divide the number by total number of the numbers. That means you have to divide the sum by a 3 number, because we are finding the average of 3 number, and this result will be stored into a result variable, and we can announce the result, that is nothing but the average of the 3 number, that is the mean number. So we can say programming is nothing but the letting the computer know how to solve a problem. We are giving a sequence of the steps to a computer, that means we are instructing a machine. So algorithm we can define as a step-by-step description of the method to solve a particular problem. So it is the effective procedure for solving a problem in a finite number of the steps. So developing an algorithm is nothing but the steps of program design. Next we will discuss three important features of the algorithm, that is the sequence, decision and repetitions. We will discuss each with the example. So let's start with the sequence. Sequence is nothing but the specific order in which you will execute your algorithm. That means each step in the algorithm executed in the specific order. If it will not executed in that way, then your algorithm will be failed. Let's take one example. Suppose you want to add a two number and find the sum of these two numbers. So your algorithm is nothing but the sequence of the steps. Your algorithm always start with the start and end with the stop. So next we will declare three variable like a number 1, number 2 and sum. We will read a two number from the user as a number 1 and number 2. We will add number 1 and number 2 and assign it into the sum. That means sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2, and your result will be displayed as a sum. Next feature is the decision. Suppose we have to make a decision to do something. If your outcome of this decision is true, then you will perform one thing. Otherwise, you have to perform the another action. That means you can define this thing like using a if and else scenario. If condition is true, then follow the process 1. If condition is true, then follow a process 1, and if condition is false, then you have to follow the process 2. Let's take one example how we can define the decision through algorithm. Suppose we want to write an algorithm to find the largest number among the three given number. So these are the sequence of the steps that we have to follow. First we have to declare three variable a, b and c. Then read these three number from the users. Then we will check if your number a is greater than b. Then again check if your a is also greater than c. Then we can display a is a larger number, else c is a larger number. If a is not greater than b, then we will check if b is greater than c. Then we can say b is the largest number, else we can say c is the largest number. So using this if and else, we can take any decision to our program. Now let's discuss about the third important feature of the algorithm, that is the repetitions. If you want to repeat some actions more than one time, then you can use the repeat scenario. It will be like this: repeat fill water in the kettle until the kettle is full. That means depends on some condition, you have to perform the sequence of the actions. Okay, let's take an example for a repeat. Suppose we want to find the factorial of a number, that is nothing. Suppose we want to find a factorial of a 5. That is nothing but the 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That means we have to multiply a 2 number, still it's reached to a 1. We have to repeat this sequence. So we will use the repeat scenario. This is the algorithm. First we will declare the variable n and the factorial n I. So initialize this variable factorial is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1. Then we will read the value of n. Suppose we are giving n is equal to 5. That means we have to repeat this step until I is equal to n. That means we will go through a 5. So factorial is equal to factorial into I. Then we will increment I by a 1, and at the end we will have the factorial of a n at the factorial variable, and we will display this factorial variable. So these are the basic introduction about the algorithm. Next we will discuss about the flowchart. Dhanyavad. Thank you.